It is November 3rd, Thursday, 10:20 a.m. I have been trying my best to stay up in the morning times, but I have been sleeping here and there because I don't know whether or not my mind is made up of saying I'm now a morning person or a night person still, because I'm normally a night person. I'm supposed to be asleep right now. Well, anyways, give you guys an update since today's the 3rd of November, 2016, by the way. This is the third day without my grandma being by my side. Um, she has been here since the whole month of October last month. She's been there to help me out through, changing my wraps on my arm. I don't know if you guys saw my last video. I'm sorry for not telling you guys before how gruesome it will be, to advise yourself to, future advice. I don't know. You do this discretion advice. Um, but I'm gonna be starting putting stuff up like that so that people understand what I go through. So, this may be pretty much yucky for you guys, but for people who are like me going through this stuff, looking at it before it happens actually gives you kind of like a prep up. You're prepping yourself up to know that this is gonna happen to you too. Uh, because I wish I had something like this, something that tells me, what to expect. This stuff isn't easy to deal with. My grandma, she changed it. If you've seen that video, my grandma changed it. Changing that wrap was like hell, because you can't smell it over the video, but rotting flesh smells horrible. Sometimes she would unwrap it before she changes the wrap on there. She has to sit down, so she'll change the whole thing off. Take the whole stuff off and sit down so it can basically air out, I guess, because it stinks like hell. She'll come back and then she'll start putting the stuff on there. It's really bad, yo. If you know what rotting flesh smells like, that's what it smells like, because it is. It's rotten flesh. Um, it was it wasn't a good idea of what I did, how I did that arm. That's possibly the reason why it was the way it was. Um, I expected to start on a certain day. I got the idea of starting on a day where I thought it was starting, because there's this paper that tells you when the guy comes in to take, the doctor took the actual casting thing off. He had somebody come in and made this splint right here was custom made by the splint person. And when he told me that you need to put a bag on it when you take a shower. I'm like, okay, when I'm able to take a shower, that'll be a lot longer. So I'm guessing I'm gonna have to start the thing after I get out of, this. I guess, I don't know. And on the day I went to go do a checkup for Dr. Chan, he told me that it was a graft fail. That a day after that was the day I was supposed to, on my paper, at least when my calculation was right, that day after was going to be the day I was able to, the paper says I was able to take showers with it off and slightly let the water run down off of it, do a light coat of soap over it. Don't scrub or anything. Don't let the water directly hit to it. That the day after was going to be the day I was going to be able to do that. But because he told me I had a graft fail, I didn't do what I was expecting I was going to do. So I was waiting for another surgery day for me to have to do another grafting. Well, somewhat, not really grafting, but they took one side off of my right thigh instead, and they replaced what was the dead flesh on my left my left arm. This one didn't take much off. It took like 1/4 of it off, because it wasn't really much. There was not much dead flesh there, but the as much as dead flesh that there was, even though it wasn't that much, it was pretty disgusting to me. It was like, oh my god, it smelled nasty. It looked nasty. It still does look nasty, but it's not bad. Um, I gotta give a shout out to my grandmother. She's a trooper. She couldn't stand the smell. Oh my gosh, she couldn't stand much of it because of her having to sit down halfway of going through changing my arm here and there. But she's dealt with all that. She's done with all the nasty stuff from pee to blood to anything to help me out. She did what she could. There was bickering here and there, and how mothers and grandmothers are. The whole you need to put a sweater on even though it's really hot, or put a shirt on when it's really hot, but to them it's cold for them, but to you you're like burning up hot. You need to do what they say because some things here and there might turn out to be worse than usual, later down the road. But I bumped heads with her a little bit here and there. She got back at me here and there, making me laugh. That's just the way me and my grandma do. We're that cool. At least my Puerto Rican grandma does that. We'll make fun of each other that way. She's pretty much strong lady. I really encourage people to be more like her, when it comes to doing things that they got to do or being who you are. She always says she's a really feisty lady. If anybody have known her, they know she's feisty. She's that type who would tell her ideas in her mind. That's just her. It's like I got my opinion. I'm allowed to say my opinion. That's her. But I gotta give a good shout out for her to doing that, and everybody else who has helped out too, like my stepmom and my dad, and of course, I got people who come by and help out by saying hi to me and stuff, and I'm pretty glad I got visitors here and there. It really helps me to know that I have people who care. Um, I know there's a lot of people who are curious. I have a lot of information. Um, for this next part, I'm going to show you. I hope it doesn't really gross you guys that much out. But, well, it's gross anyways. It's completely gross. I'm not gonna be like beating around the bush. I'm gonna tell you the truth. It's pretty much gross. Blood here and there, and it's still kind of healing. I won't show you my phallus because it basically is mostly healed up. There's still some scabs here and there on it, healing on there. I'm able to now scrub it, not too hard, but scrub it enough to take off the little things here and there, is what Dr. Lee told me. I'm able to take showers now. I'm pretty proud today. I'm actually able to put on my underwear by myself. Since I'm not with my grandma anymore. She was here 24 hours with me, But now that I'm not with my grandma, my dad and my stepmom are at work. I'm the only one at home. So, I wanted to try out to find out if I could put underwear on, and I did. I put underwear on. I'm so happy about that. But, there are things here and there that I need to watch out for. Like, when I put the underwear on, the difficult part is pulling it over my thigh where the surgical site is. Here, let me show you. There's a nasty part. Yeah, that really stings a lot. Even when I move it up and down, my knee up and down, If I bring my leg up to bend it still hurts because of course that's skin healing in a certain way, and when you move it, your skin has to adjust to being flexible enough to go with the bend of your leg is. But I'm able to take showers with it. Put a light dressing of soap on it. And let the water runs down on it, not hit it directly, but let it runs down to it, So it heals faster because of that. For those of you that need more information about what's going on, I pretty much got most of it covered to give you guys answers about my surgical procedures and what happened. And I'm actually gonna volunteer. I'm not sure when it'll be, but I'll volunteer for the Kaiser in Oakland. They were really cool to me. Ever since the first day I was there, they even offered me if I wanted some coffee or tea too. They were really cool about it. over there, that was the day I was able to meet the doctors to find out about getting my top end hysterectomy surgery. And then I was able to also get information for my phalloplasty I wanted to get. But, I had to do the first thing first, which is a top surgery and hysterectomy first, because hysterectomy is what they need you to do first. The hysterectomy is, that's what's going to help them to, it's going to help them do the bottom surgery that you want. Well, I want. I'm not sure if you guys watching this want it or not, but for those who want it, just like how I did, they gotta make you go through a process. So you gotta heal from your first surgery, from the top and the bottom hysterectomy surgery, before you do your bottom surgery, which is my phalloplasty. For others, it might be a medoplasty. There's three types of surgeries. My phalloplasty is like a medium risk kind of phalloplasty. They took from my thigh to replace on my arm, and my arm is what they used for the phalloplasty. My penis. They did a free flap on me to do my scrotum, which is the balls. And they've done numerous of other stuff. I completely lost idea what they did, but it was perfect the way I want it. It was perfectly done. Perfect. um, I had to do a second surgery because my arm failed on the graft, and it was basically my fault. I should have went through the paperwork exactly how it was done. My fault on it was that I calculated the idea that the days of when I should start doing things. I did it later because I was told when I was getting my splint to put a bag over it when I take showers so it doesn't get wet. And I was thinking that the time I'm able to take a shower is when the doctor says it's okay for me to take a shower. So that was my fault. I should have done what the paper did to the T, So for those of you that are going to go through the procedures, make sure you ask if I should go through the paper to the T, or should I just wait until the doctor says I can do something, because of that. It caused me to have to take another surgery. At least that's what I believe had happened. Because miscommunication in my head, instead of asking questions, I just went through what I believed that I thought was right, which wasn't right. But ask questions. It's a lot easier, a lot better. You won't have to go through a second surgery. You won't have to deal with problems. Just ask questions, no matter how annoying you think you may be. It'll save you time. It'll save them time. They don't have to go through the second surgery to do, that you'll just save a lot on asking questions. It may cause irritation, but, asking it would save a lot, it would save. My family is really worried that I might catch on to gangrene, or I might have to lose my arm, or this infection's getting too bad that to the point where you could lose your arm. They'll have to amputate it or something like that. You need to go to the hospital, blah, 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 But just follow through what the doctor says. They tell you that you're going to be called to do the second surgery. Just go through with that. If it gets worse, then you talk to them. Don't go straight to the ER right away without confronting them to let them know, so that they'll know to let you know it's not an emergency thing, that you can just wait. Or they're going to say, yeah, just go to the ER now. They'll tell you once you tell them. That's my advice, because I don't want nobody having to go to the ER when they didn't need to. Going to the ER, you'd have to wait longer and stay there with sick people that could cause your irritation to get worse, and or to be in a most uncomfortable position as possible, waiting for a doctor for hours, and people coughing, and your surgical sites that could possibly get caught onto, infections could get worse there. At least that's the way I see it. I wouldn't want to go to the ER for anything, because of the fact that it can cause more problems. At least that's what I see, how I see it. Other people may not see it that way, but if you confront your doctor about it first, Dr. Chan, they have the list. You go online and they have an aftercare surgery thing. have numbers down there to you. If you have any questions that may seem like an emergency, you can call that number and tell them that this is what's happening. Should I go to the ER? Either they'll say yes or they'll say, no, you should wait. We have a doctor appointment on that day. And also, the surgeon is going to call you in this day. So, just hold on and it'll get dealt with. I decided to wait because I already had a doctor that was going to call and set up the second surgery day to heal this up. And that was a good idea because it wasn't that bad, I guess. But, as people perceive to see it, they see it as a worst thing ever because anything that happens to you is going to scare the crap out of them. So I understood them. I understood their fear. But, I had to stick through what the doctor told me to do in the first place so that I wouldn't have to cause more infections or cause even more of a bigger problem or anything like that. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, I'm on Facebook. You can always get up on Facebook and find me on there. I'll put my details down in the information below if you guys want to get up on that. Oh, sorry, I'm starting to feel weird on my arm. But yeah, I got questions too, just like anybody else on different things. So if I want to, I can ask people who are going through different surgery, about things. And I know it's just out of curiosity, but people who are just like me, who are going through phalloplasty and want to know exactly what I'm going through, they can either attend the meetings that well, not kind of sort of a meeting for phalloplasty that I'm going through. God, I'm not really thinking that well. Sorry. I want to go to the Oakland Kaiser and help them out with giving people who are going through the thing I'm going through, give them the details that I've been through so that they know what to deal with. This YouTube may be helpful as well, but if anybody wants to know, I got a ton of experience that I can tell you about funny and not funny stuff going on in the hospital. But if you guys want to talk to me in person on IM, in person. I don't know person. Anyways, I'll put the description below for you to look me up on Facebook, and yeah, I'll answer questions. You guys have questions about anything, if you think it's too personal, if you think it's out of pocket or whatnot, just ask it anyways, and I'll give my idea about it. I'll give you my answer as much as possible. I'm not 100% on knowing everything on the answers, so I know sources to go to. So if you want, you can call people that I give you information on. Gender Health Center is one of the greatest places on earth for me. Start this off with me. The Kaiser in Oakland that I went to was great. And they got a ton of information for people, especially people going through the things I'm going through. So, if you want, go ahead and holler at me. I'm able to give you guys all the information I can. But yeah. So yeah, just holler at me. All right. Have a good day, y'all.